Up in Canada. NBA in talks with group to establish expansion team in Montreal. So Adam Silver, he broached the subject in a televised interview during Monday night's game between the Celtics and the Knicks, the one where Brian Scalabrine was trying to impress Silver with his NBA breakdowns. So Silver indicated that he was not ruling out the possibility of setting up a new franchise in Canada, either Montreal or Vancouver, or of course Mexico City. So they were talking about expansion, and Montreal fans in Montreal, NBA fans, they hear this and they run with it, and that's why we get these headlines. Trey, is this news?
I don't know. Is it? That's not a team yet. And they don't feel like they're next up on the list. It feels like they're in the second tier alongside Mexico City and Vancouver, perhaps. I did like Silver's quote. When we first went there to Canada, it was a hockey market. Kids like basketball now. They obviously still like hockey, but there will be other opportunities eventually. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both watched it. We watched that interview with Gorman and Scalabrine.
That's right.
And we both watched it, and they talked about it. But we didn't come into this office and think anything about it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Montreal, they hear this, and then, Adam Silver said Montreal in the same sentence of expansion. You're going to get excited.
Yeah,
he's thinking of us.
He just knows. He just knows what's up. Mike Gorman asked him a question. Hey, are we going to go up to Canada? A little expansion? What do you think? And he goes, yeah, people like basketball up there. There was a preseason game there.
Yeah,
this year.
The Bell Center, and successful. And I mean, there's homegrown talent we're seeing now in Dort and Mathurin and Boucher, if we're throwing in there, and Omax now with the Maverick. Like, Montreal is one of the most populous cities in North America. I'm not sure how many people know that. So it's a big, big city. It's like obviously could have an NBA team.
It could.
But I'm with you, Trey. Like, this is good news for people in Montreal, but, like, this is news, like, honestly, like, this is 10, 15 years probably down the line.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we're going to be handing out, franchises left and right here. And they're just, on the list, but probably lower down than your Seattles and maybe your Las Vegas and maybe even Vancouver again. Like, who knows? Mexico City. But that's okay. Like, landing an NBA franchise is like trying to win Defensive Player of the Year. You just got to be talked about for a while. Yeah. You ain't going to win it right away. But you got to be in the conversation, and then eventually we'll get to you. But
what was also part of this good report from TSN is that there has been an ownership group trying to make a bid for several years.
Yeah, 6 years apparently.
I didn't realize that. But that also shows that a team ain't going to Montreal anytime soon. It all just depends on how great the NBA is doing. Because to expand to Seattle first, it could be Vegas. Everybody's expanding to Vegas. That would be 32 teams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many teams do you want? You want a 34-team league to go up to Montreal and potentially Vancouver? Which
35 if you include Mexico City.
Mexico City, sure.
I want 82 teams, and then we only play one game.
Scarcity.
That's right.
I would tune in. Every game's the in-season tournament.
That's a good point.
I love the addition of Vancouver. They screwed Vancouver. Vancouver got screwed. There's no doubt when they got yanked from there. So that was the first city I think Adam Silver mentioned. When he started talking about
that was the one
Canada.
Stern always said was a huge regret, for sure.
Yes, he regretted it.
So you feel like that will be on the list. Of course, Seattle deserve a team back there in that location. Now, the problem with them is, like, they're right there, whether or not that has any impact. They're very close. And then, Mexico City, it feels like we'll one day get one. But it's a good question about how many teams.
Yeah.
Though I guess, we just think expansion or new teams, like, hey, buy a team, $2-3 billion, whatever, if not more. But teams could leave markets as well. I won't open that can of worms right now, but maybe that's the idea here too, right?
Yeah.
Shuffling.
But it all depends on how this in-season tournament does. There could be some more money coming in. There's just the factor of the negotiation that starts in March for not just the in-season tournament, just in general, all these potential Amazons, Apples, throwing some dollars at the NBA.
Yeah.
So if things are going better, then they take a chance potentially on more teams.
As Raptors fans, would you be excited that there's another team in Canada competing for the affections of Canadians?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think that part would be really fun to have, like, a Canadian rivalry, especially Toronto and Montreal. I mean, people that live in those cities hate each other.
Yeah.
So that would be fun. Because, it was a little different when it was Vancouver, Toronto as just new teams that were both pretty crappy. Like even they had the Naismith Cup and all that, and they tried to sell us that. Like the Naismith Cup, when you think about it, was really the in-season tournament before the in-season tournament. But no, the answer to your question, absolutely. And I do think Montreal, I think Vancouver, I think it's obvious that both those markets could have an NBA team and support it well, personally.
Yeah, yeah, the rest of the Canadians are apparently Toronto Raptors fans because there's only one team.
Canada's team.
Yeah, but they're all far. Like, they can't go to games. Like, all the fans are very far from Toronto.
You can jump on a train.
That's going to take like 5 days.
Montreal to Toronto, what'd that take? 5 hours?
5 hours.
Wait.
Trey said we, so we can do our French accents all day.
I did see that Montreal is further north than Toronto.
We the North.
OUI the North? Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
That is good. All right, so look, they're on the list. Silver's thinking about you, Montreal. Or at least your name is being included in the possibility of expansion.